Hello, welcome to the stream. We're gonna be playing Subignition Poker again today. Let's go ahead and get started here. I'm gonna start the sanity timer at 1 hour, and we are going to attempt to not watch it. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. Let's see here. So, last time we played, we won pretty much a whole buy-in. We doubled our buy-in by the end of the stream, so that was pretty exciting. I was pumped up, but I think what I got to realize is that's not going to happen every stream. I'm hoping that I end most streams positive, and if I can end it, 10 or 20 big blinds positive rather than negative 10 or 20, then I'd be happy. And I'll take 10 or 20 big blinds over a risk of negative 100 or plus 100, But such as poker, sometimes you are forced to go all in anyways, even though you don't like it. So that's what happened to us yesterday, and today we are just going to try for another chill stream. Single table. Gonna chit chat while we're waiting for hands. Feel free to chat and ask me questions or whatever you guys feel like doing. We are going to limp, I think, with pocket fives in the small blind. Don't know if that's necessarily the best strategy, but now this is interesting. There are 5 other people in the pot. So it's very likely there's at least one other diamond, possibly somebody already has a made flush. We have trips, but it's mid-set. So certainly we won't be folding. If there's a pair on the board, the 8 or the 3 pairs up, then we could potentially get... I'm going to bet it here. Just go 10 cents, because that's a nice even number. And maybe we get non-diamond hands to fold here. An 8 high monotone board is a little scary. I don't think that a lot of people are going to be betting too hard on this. Now, nice thing is the dealer folded, so we are now have imposition. And we get 2 other colors, and we make the full house. So we have the nuts. We're close to it. This guy min bets. I think we call and then re-raise on the river. Doesn't really help him very much, but it could be that somebody gets a straight. Maybe this guy is going to re-raise. Yeah, and then I think we re-raise him. So, and I think a re-raise is like 3 times, so 1.5. We'll see what happens here. We could be losing to like an 8-6. 8-5, 8-3 are the only hands that beat us. But otherwise, we're not looking too bad. Also, double 8s or double 5, or there can't be double 5s, but double 8s beats us. Guys, we win, but now I feel like I got to make sure that we're not getting winner's tilt right off the bat at the start of this stream. So, just take a deep breath, listen to the Spotify chill music, be cool with our $1.80 pot on literally the second hand we've played today, and just let's cool down a bit. Cool down. All right, so next board up is 2-tone. There are a couple possible straights here. 8-6, 8-jack makes it. I don't know if anybody's actually playing those hands, but certainly an 8 staying in. Seems like everybody's really passive this game. I am noticing that. Let me make sure that my poker tracker is actually importing hands that we're not playing. Yeah, import observed hands, okay. Q9 from the low jack. Yeah, we'll play that. Blow up my charts here a little bit so I can actually read them. Okay. And we get a re-raise from the hijack. I think it's an easy fold, honestly. Queen 9 is pretty far on the edge of our range. Looking at other charts here, I mean, under the gun versus an under the gun 2. It's pretty tight, so I think we can let it go. And I'm kind of glad we did. I mean, we would have had middle pair, but with an overcard, means that a king is looking pretty good right here. 2 diamonds are looking pretty good. 10 jack is looking nice. See what happens. Okay. So 10 jack has made it. 2 diamonds made it. Let's see what happens. I mean, I'm really anxious to see what this guy has. Maybe he's just kind of a gonzo player that's bets every time. Okay, now any 10 makes the straight, but 2 diamonds would beat the straight. This guy min bets king queen versus jack ace. Okay, well, so he won with 2 pair kings and queens, which is pretty decent. Not a straight or a flush, but not bad. We kind of know that. I mean, it's good to watch some of those hands, like how he was betting. Try to keep track of that and be aware that he's not betting junk. King Queen off is a playable hand. I guess that's in a 3-bet range. Probably at the pretty far edge of it, I would imagine. Let's see what my charts say. If you are hijack facing a raise from low jack, yeah, charts say you 3-bet king queen off. Interesting. So he's playing reasonable ranges, and and I think he got the top pair on the flop, and then the queen came later. We can hand replayer. Yeah, you guys can't see that, but I can. I can look at what exactly happened there. Yep, so the queen was on, or king was on the flop and queen was on the river. And it was jack ace versus king queen off. And so we won $2.50 off that pot, which is pretty good. And then he wins with a quad jacks. Wow. He really didn't, he got paid less than he did last time with his 2 pair. That's impressive. So this guy's on fire. He's to our right, which doesn't really help a whole lot. Small blind. We're facing, we could just limp here with 9-4. Yeah. Charts say that's limpable. Nope. Now, could that be that this guy's just kind of capitalizing on his image right now? I mean, he's just kind of been on fire, so he's just going to keep going. That's a bit of an overbet. I mean, granted, he had 2 limps behind him, so maybe not that far away. If he's thinking like 3 big blinds. Hey, I'm Link Poker. Thanks for joining the stream. We are just starting a hand on ignition. We're just doing single table, 2 cent, 5 cent, and trying to have a chill stream day for Chill Friday. Probably gonna go, I don't know, make some dinner after this. Nothing too exciting. I'm gonna try to maybe do like a bonfire outside backyard fire in the evening after dinner. Capitalize on the nice weather. So we had 2-9, obviously not really playable, so we just got to watch this guy go all in, and he goes all in with 10-3, and he makes it against Queen King suited. So that other guy's mad, but that's what happens when you have a short stack, I guess. You go all in with silly hands. All right, Ace-3 offsuit. From the cutoff, our charts say don't do it. So we're going to listen to the charts, especially with a raise behind us. There's no reason to stay in there. And interesting. We get a 3-bet, but it was like an under 3-bet. He doesn't. Chill day is always good. Yeah, for sure. It was a nice day at work too, not too stressful. I wasn't on call, so I didn't have to deal with all the crappy questions in Slack. I just got to program all day, and I actually released a new version of my tool today, which is called Rusty Hog. So if you Google Rusty Hog, you'll see it. And it's basically a tool to find passwords and secrets in Git repositories. And it's basically just a competitor / rewrite of Truffle Hog. Okay, 6-8 offsuit from the... We're in the... That's the hijack, right? Yeah. I don't... Charts say don't do it, so we'll listen to the charts here. So basically from that seat, you know, a connected cards like 6-7, sorry, 8-7 suited, I would have played there. But a 1-gap connector isn't quite good enough. Especially when this guy has a propensity for 3-betting. So I think we're kind of happy there that we got out of the way. Maybe not so happy now that we see the flop. Well, I mean, we would have a flush draw and a straight draw, right? And we would have had middle pair. Even our straight draw would have been tentative. Oh, nice. You're an IT. Awesome. Yeah, I'm a security engineer. I work at New Relic. And so I am kind of on the threat detection team. So kind of working on like internal vulnerability detection and incident response and log analysis and stuff. It's kind of silly. New Relic, I don't know if you're familiar with the product, but it is kind of like Splunk or other, like, it's an observability platform. Observability is a big buzzword, but whatever. Queen 6 from low jack? No. And we can't use our own product for security, which really annoys me and the entire team. And we've gone to management and said, like, hey, New Relic should, you know, offer security features. And they blew us off. And sure enough, our competitors are eating our lunch because they offer security features. Datadog is our big competitor right now. And New Relic essentially lost first position in the market over the last few years to Datadog. Anyways, we are watching... So we're watching these guys play. It was a 3-way pot, but we get a fold now. So 2 ways. This guy, player 1, has been pretty active in the last few hands. Player 2 has a VPIP of 73, and he gets the 2 pair. Nice. King Ace versus King 10. So that guy got it on the river. Interesting. I think we'll just check here. Let's see what happens. We get top pair, backdoor straight draw, no flush draw, but it is a 2-tone board. Now the question is, do we bet here? I'm in a 3-way pot, out of position. We'll check it and see what this guy does. I think we call it. Hopefully he does another min bet. This guy's, well, the guy before him was doing a bunch of min betting. He does half pot, so we'll call. Especially 3 ways. Possibly someone made their flush draw. Not super happy about that. We get a re-raise. I think I'm happy getting out of the way here. We have top pair. But at these stakes, a re-raise, well, he does have small stack. He's probably going to want to go all in. And I would feel really silly going all in with 2 diamonds on the board. Yeah. Now 4 diamonds on the board. Somebody's got to have a diamond. Yeah. Wow, he almost had the straight flush there. So we dodged a bullet there, which I would say is a success. I don't think we're getting him to fold a king diamond flush draw on the turn, honestly. Ooh. Okay. 5 high board, so... Thanks. Yeah, I think, yeah, that was an interesting hand there. So this is a strange board. I would have expected somebody to bet, but ace high, oh, pair twos wins it. Okay. Everybody was just pretty scared on that board. I mean, one of the things I'm noticing is that these stakes, it's kind of rare for people to bet their range. Instead, they are just betting their hands, which kind of makes them face up. So in that case, like, they're not, I would say they're not even very position aware. Yeah. Yeah, I would have needed a pretty big bet to get somebody to fold there. And honestly, like, my goal is to, like, even though I'm at the lowest stakes, so here's the thing, I am at the lowest stakes on this site, and so there's probably a lot of money to be made playing exploitatively, but my goal is to learn the right way of playing first. And I'm not there yet, so I'd rather just kind of try to play right, rather than try to play exploitatively. And so sometimes right is, yeah, not making giant bluff bets. Sometimes it is. Sometimes the computer will tell you, and sometimes it is the right thing in that position. But alright, so we're gonna bet here somewhere close to 1/3 of the pot. This guy... I think we keep c-betting here. It's less likely that he has aces now that there's a second ace on the board. Of course, he could just be, slow playing us. Let's just bet a 3rd pot again and see what he does. We have 2 pair. If he has, so, if he has jacks or 6s, no, he just lets us have it. Okay, we'll take it. Wow. Okay, 2 big monster hands in a row. They're probably just going to be upset at me, but we're going to do it anyways. Alright, so normally a 3-bet here would be 15 cents. We're going to add a big blind for each limper, so we're going to make it 25. Now, it could be that everybody folds, and maybe that was the bad thing to do with pocket aces. Sometimes the book says slow play aces, but we get a call, at least 1 call. And we have position. Wow, we get 3 calls. So the bummer spot about this is, 4 ways, our equity is kind of low still. I guess we're hoping for another ace with everybody calling. Now this guy donk betted. I mean, we have to stay in for 10 cents on a dollar pot. But I'm not really liking the board. He does another very small bet, like what is that, 1/5 pot size, so 20% pot. Possible he's just stringing us along. It's possible he has a set, he has 2 diamonds. I guess what I should be doing here is raising, right? To try and scare him out of the pot. I think I should have showed more aggression. If I had re-raised on one of these hands, I think I'm looking a bit better. My guess is he has a 6, but I still think we have to call here and just see what happens. Yep, he had a 6. I mean, 8-6 offsuit, how often is he calling? I raised it to 25 cents. So he called a 25-cent bet pre-flop with 8-6 offsuit. So essentially these guys like are not, they're just gambling. They're just, or they're watching the flop. I think if I guess the thought is there is that, okay, so I could have folded on the river. I'm gonna mark that in the review. That is certainly like a rookie mistake, like hanging on to hands like pocket aces, pocket kings when you're not really in a profitable position. Against a 3-bet, we'll fold here. Yeah, I'm a little annoyed at that hand. I'm taking a look now. I 3-bet, he calls. And then, yeah, he flops the set. So he donk bets. I call. He c-bets the turn. I call. He c-bets the river. So I think that I probably should just take these guys' donk bets at face value, which is, I think he's playing checkers and I'm expecting him to play chess. I think he just had a monster hand and he just bet his monster hand and that was that. And I just didn't believe him. Or wasn't sure what the hell he was doing. Alright, here we go. Another all-in. Pair of aces. Versus pair of 8s. This is one of those things where, so I'm doing a bankroll challenge. The goal is to only move up in stakes when I have the money to move up in stakes. So the goal is to basically work towards 20 buy-ins of the next stake up. And then move up when I have 25 buy-ins of the stake above. And so watching action like this, it's almost not worth playing because it's just like people, I don't know. It's hard to justify sticking around if you know that they're just gambling and not really putting a lot of thought into it. But I guess the challenge is, this is going to happen like if you go to play live poker in a casino. Same thing's going to happen. You're going to get people drunk that just want to gamble, and you have to be able to read them. And sorry, I'm talking and not really playing, but I guess 10-4 offsuit's not a great hand, so so yeah, it's frustrating dealing with stuff like ace 8-6 offsuit, but that is it is what it is. Okay. Kind of boring folding all these hands. I want to get a hand that I can actually play. I mean, we're only down 8 cents for the session, so it's not bad considering we had pocket aces. We'll just wait for the next session here. I mean, gosh. Still, like, stuck on that 8-6 offsuit hand. I'm almost kind of curious now, like, what... Yeah. 8-6 offsuit is, like, more than 40%. It's 63% is when you start reaching 8-6 offsuit. So, yeah, I think we just have to be aware of these guys' ranges now and just play accordingly. Queen 8 on the button? No. Chart says no. We'll just stick to the chart. Probably could have played that, but especially in the dealer position. We're definitely getting a lot of limps, which is weird. I guess it's normal for like a normal casino, but a live casino, but not usually normal for internet poker. Okay. We're in hijack with ace-9. Technically, this is out of our range. This is not in the range to play. Kind of frustrated because I'm getting a little bored, but we just got to stick to our ranges here and trust them. I mean, this is one where ace-10 offsuit would have, or sorry, ace-10 suited would have been great. But ace-9 offsuit, you know, there's a reason why offsuit cards are just have so much less equity than suited. It's because you get flops like this. We'll just try to spot betting patterns in these guys. Try to watch what they're doing and see if we can start being able to read their hands if they're just kind of playing their hands face up. Just gotta work on learning to read them. Man, no playable hands yet. We will wait. Taking a look at the table, we have two guys that have been in here since the beginning. Player 2 and player 5. Player 5, pretty stingy. Player 2 has been playing almost every single hand. 3 out of every 4 hands he's been shoving money into. So let's see what happens here. So player 5 definitely more aggressive. Player 2 figured out he had a monster, I guess. What we need to do is get player 2 to 0 so that he can come back in with 5 whole bucks and actually play normal. I don't think we raise a queen off suit. I think we just put this guy all in right now. Yeah, we'll call him. Oh, and of course he gets the flush. Backdoor flush draw on that. What happens? I think that was the right call. Just, it's not too often he's going to be hitting the backdoor flush draw. It's only less than 10% of the time, so I think that was a profitable call in the long run. Just didn't favor us that time. All right. So, what do we got going on here? Sorry, I'm paying attention to the wrong... Go streaming stuff or Discord. Okay. Minimize Discord. Pair of jacks. Man, this guy is... This player 2 is interesting. I mean, he's just... The nice thing about playing every hand is that it masks your strong hands. So... That's some poker. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing about these stakes is that, you know, $1.30 means nothing to this guy, right? He's probably making 6 figures in real life. He doesn't give a crap. So yeah, he goes all in whenever he wants, and we're trying to kind of play sane poker, and it's hard to play sane poker against an insane opponent, I would say. Well, shoot, I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't see what he bet pre-flop. I think he just called us pre-flop, so now he's donk betting, which means either he has a king or air. See what he does here. Gosh. Knowing his range, do you just fold it because you assume he has either a king or 2? I think so. I think you got to take these guys at their word here. Yeah. All right. King queen off is a raise. We get a re-raise. That's interesting. And a call. So big pot, but not feeling great about my king queen offsuit. We are under the gun versus, what was that, like hijack or something? Yeah, I think we let this go. I mean, I'm looking at my charts here and facing a raise. King queen off is not quite. Oh man, these guys. What was that? That was. I almost feel like we should just get up and move to a different table. I'm considering doing that. That was a 10-4. So the pocket tens re-raises. The 10-4 offsuit call, or sorry, 10-4 suited calls. The pocket tens bet, 10-4 offsuit calls with a flush draw. And the 10-4 suited makes the flush. Well, you know, this stream is supposed to be us learning. I think we'll just try to learn how to play against these guys, like knowing at least we can start rating their hands. I mean, if they're going to play him face up like that, then we can make, you know, if this guy like donk bets, so he doesn't donk bet, which means he has he has nothing, right? And then if he bets, he has everything. But our hand is not looking great here, especially in a three-way pot. So I think we check it. Who knows? Maybe this guy will check. No? Gosh. Feel bad. I feel like I'm getting steamrolled here. I need to adjust, but I mean, honestly, so I'm trying to like be a student of poker. I'm trying to go through the books. So this is what I have been reading. I'm almost done. I'm on like the second to last chapter here. I'm halfway through the chapter on the turn. And there's the chapter on the river. But funny enough, those are the smallest chapters in the books, or the 2 chapters about the turn in the river. It's all about flops. That's probably half the content in the book. Well, maybe about a quarter of the content is the flop, quarter of the content is tournaments, quarter is pre-flop, and then the rest miscellaneous. All right, so we call here. Okay, we get top pair. We won't donk bet it, just because this is not like a normal donk bet board. But we do have a strong hand, so we could re-raise. I actually kind of want to do that if we're trying to play exploit. Now, although granted, this player 2 is not in the hand. Player 5 has been a bit more conservative. Okay. Let's try betting. Not sure what the hell's going to happen here. The fact that he checked through, to me, says he doesn't have much. If we're just trying to adjust to them playing it, oh man. So now the question is, does he have the king of diamonds, right? If he has the king of diamonds, he wins. So we're just going to gamble that he doesn't have the king of diamonds. And we're going to overbet to make it look like a bluff. No, he folds, auto folds. Okay. That was interesting. A64 Ninja. Yeah, yay learning. So we're just going to be learning a different scenario here. Instead of trying to focus on GTO poker today, we are going to be trying to focus on adjusting to non-optimal play. That is the interesting thing. I mean, not all video game, like some video games, if you play non-optimally, you just get crushed. Other games, like your opponent has, I guess maybe the way to think about that is like in an analog to another game. It's just a non-mainline strategy. Doesn't necessarily mean that it is, I mean, yeah. So like in chess, if you do a non-standard opening, if you haven't studied the responses to that non-standard opening, then yeah, you're at a disadvantage. But if you study the responses to that non-standard opening and know that it has major disadvantages and can exploit those disadvantages, then you're good to go, right? So I think we're just 64 Ninja got me an awesome book called Play Optimal Poker, and it is the next book on my reading list after I finish this guy. I think I only have like, I have about 20 pages left in this guy. And then next up is Play Optimal Poker. And Play Optimal Poker focuses a lot on exactly this, like responding to your opponents and how they're playing, and trying to kind of mix that with GTO strategy. If GTO is the perfect strategy, but you know. And the idea, the theory behind GTO is that it is the best strategy regardless of what your opponent does. And so any changes that your opponent does will not affect your outcome or your expected EV, expected value. So trying to stick with GTO even in the face of somebody going crazy like this means that at least you won't lose a whole bunch of money. Now, the other flip side of that theory with the GTO is that if you do adjust and change your strategy, then there is the opportunity for your opponent to exploit that adjustment and potentially make a lot of money off of you. Or and so your EV could potentially go down if your opponent is able to readjust. Low jack, ace 2 suited. Technically, this is not in our... Oh, it is in our... Oh, no, it's not. Not in our range. So we'll stick to the charts here. Oh, well. We would have had the straight draw, but on a monotone board, we might have been still a pretty big disadvantage against more diamonds. possible one of these guys has the diamonds, but these guys looks like they're just gambling. This player 1 has been in every other pot since he started, and yeah, so he just has a pair of 4. I mean, we would have lost anyway, right? There was no aces or 2s on there, so, and no 5s. So it's probably good that we stayed out of that one. We will... Alright, so let's try just doing something weird and see if we can just exploit this guy. Try to get him out if he just doesn't have... Okay. Damn. Okay, so now because we raised, he checked. That means he probably doesn't have anything, right? He doesn't have an ace. So I think we just... Let's see what happens when we just are really aggressive. Okay. That's us adjusting. He didn't bet, which means he had air. We bet, regardless of what we had. And he gave it up. Now, that's obviously a very dangerous spot, right? Because then his counter strategy is to slow play monsters and crush us, right? But I guess he's not doing that. Now in this case he calls, so this guy raised, I think ace 10 offsuit is from the small blind. It's not a call. We'll let it go. I was actually kind of happy how that went. I mean, honestly, I think once I read the Play Optimal Poker book, I'll know more about how I'm supposed to adjust. But I feel like we... Yes, scoop small pots. Oh, yeah. That's the optimal strategy against someone wild. That would make sense. Yeah. So in that case, we're successful. We scooped that small pot. We'll just keep trying to do that. Try to get our negative 58 cents here back up to at least 0 before we stop the stream. We have our countdown timer. We started around 3:39, so we'll probably be in another 5-10 minutes, or 10-20 minutes, and then we'll switch to explanation mode and try just digging into some of these hands and see what the odds were that we were looking at. So 7Q offsuit. I think we just stay out. I mean, that's normally never a playable hand from this position. So we will continue to not play it. We'll just stick to our charts. I mean, I think we talked about adjusting strategy. I think part of the thing is if we make sure to only get into battles with strong hands, then we have a better chance when we are battling, right? So here, if we're battling with a pair of 7s when there's an ace on the board, we're not looking great. I'm curious if our pair of 7s would have won here. Oof. 2 aces now. So let's see what this guy does. They're just all checking through. I bet there's like pair 4 high, right? I bet pair 4 wins it here. Let's see what happens. No. Guy folds. Okay. We don't get to see what happened. That bummer. King 10 offsuit from the hijack is playable. Try to... I mean, these limpers just always call. I'm not sure the mentality there. Oh no, he didn't call. Okay. Interesting. So I think with top pair we see bet it here. And go half pot. No need to go third pot. Although with the two-tone board it's a little scarier, but okay. Just scoop another small pot. Chalk up the W when we get it. All right. Ace 10 offsuit from the low jack is playable. See what happens. We're gonna get at least one call. Are we gonna get two more? No. Wild Guy's not gonna play with us either. All right. Now, if I were big blind, I would donk bet it here based on the reading I've been doing. But I am not big blind. I am under the gun, so I kind of have range disadvantage here. So I will check. There are like two straights on the board already. We do have ace or the backdoor flush draw. You know, if we're going with our exploitative play like we were talking about, adjusting to the craziness, I think here we just let this go and live to fight another day. Yeah. Definitely possible he had 5-4, 6-5 there and made the straight. Or literally any junk hand that we've been seeing so far. Gosh. What's this guy gonna do? Is he gonna bet into me? If he bets into me, I think we fold. All right. Congrats, dude. You stole the big blind. Not happy about it, but... Wow, that was the first time he raised pre-flop the entire game. So that's why we have HUDs. HUDs tell us some interesting information, like their pre-flop statistics. And so I think that saved us there. 10-9 offsuit, we can try limping. See what happens. Alright. We don't get much. We can check it. So if somebody raises, do we fold here? He was small blind and he, or no, sorry, he's dealer and he limped. Now he is min betting. Is he min betting the ace? Probably not, but we only have 6 outs, so shoot, I don't have my Excel sheet. I should know my 6 outs. Are we getting the right odds for a third pot bet? I don't think so, but I'm gonna call it anyways. It's also 3 ways, so if this guy calls too. Oh, no? Okay. Yeah, this isn't a pot isn't in the spot I like. Now, maybe the question is, do we bluff here? But I actually think he kind of has a monster, or has at least ace high. If he's gonna be, if we're gonna be, the fact that he bet first there, I think tells me he's just playing hands up or face up there, and betting a strong hand. Queen 9 is not quite good enough to play against a raise. It would have been good, raise first hand, but yeah. All right, so we are probably somewhere around 40 to 50 minutes into the stream. So the way I've been playing is I've just been setting myself an hour limit. So at some point we're going to hear beeping, and at the beeping we'll stop, and we'll go into kind of playing explain mode and kind of dig into some of the more interesting hands and see what Flopzilla and or GTO says about that position and whether we made the right call or not. So here we have King Jack. I think that is strong enough to play. So we will do 3 big blinds plus a big blind for each limper behind us. And we are waiting for the rest of the table to move. Hopefully this guy folds and gives us position. Whoa. Okay, so this guy's been in most of the game, and he has not... he has only put in money twice since he's sat down, and he's been here more than 30 hands. So it's 40 cents to call. 40 cents against a $1.40. Man. I think I'm gonna review this hand. I think the problem was I just wasn't doing the math in my head fast enough. Whether the odds were in my favor or not. I mean, looking at the flop, it seems like that would have been a great flop to play against. But actually, in second thought, maybe not. Oh, well, so we would have had this straight. This guy goes all in. So that would have been our winning hand if we had played it. Bummer. I'm definitely going to review that one, and we'll see what the odds say as to what we should have done there. I think... Let me pull up my Excel sheet here. So the odds say that we had... well, let's see. I should just pull up the calculator here. So $1.40 and 40 cents is 3 and come on. So we were facing 28% pot odds there, and yeah, interesting. So the question is, like, did we have more than 30% equity there? I think we actually would have on second thought, honestly. I think we had more than 30% equity. But 3 ways, maybe less so. That's definitely one I'm going to want to review here. Maybe we'll do that. That'll be the first hand we can look at. I just feel like I need to add some ranges to my Flopzilla tool for 2 cent, 5 cent idiots. I don't know what else. Like, none of my ranges take into account some of these hands I've been seeing. And my phone's blowing up. Hopefully work is not upset at me for ditching. Okay, doesn't look like it. Oh, nice. 6 Ninja got our gift. Glad you guys like it. So many group chats, so many notifications. All right, another all-in hand. He's got a... Whoa! Wow. That was a... Each guy had trip aces, but it was the higher kicker that won it. Hey, that guy's finally gone. We will take that. That is a win in my book. All right. 7-3 is not even in the big blind. I wonder if that's the same guy. I mean, he's buying in min buying. They just feel like they just want to gamble. They just want to, like, literally play every single hand they can and just have fun. So definitely got to come up with a counter strategy for that, and that'll probably be the next thing to work on this weekend. For those of you tuning in, we're playing 2 cent, 5 cent no limit hold'em on Ignition Casino, which is anonymous. So it's a little bit harder to pin our opponents. Jack 3 small blind. I think that's limpable. We'll limp it. See what this guy does. He checks us. Okay. And we get low pair. I guess nobody's the aggressor here, right? But actually, I think this favors our range here. I was actually an overbet. That was my mistake. No, but we'll take it. Because I was in small blind there, there's a lot more hands that I'm calling with than he is raising with. And so when the board is a lot of low numbers, it favors me versus him. So that I just bet the fact that the board favored me, not necessarily what cards I had. And we will bet this. See what happens. So this is in our... Oh, actually, that was a mistake. Technically, my chart says Queen 2 suited on the button is a fold. So, because this guy re-raises, we'll just give it to him. Oops. That was my mistake. Shouldn't have raised there. I'm working on trying to memorize the ranges, and some of them I feel like I get one off a lot. So Queen 3 suited would have been a raise first in from the dealer position, but Queen 2 suited was not. I guess it wouldn't have mattered if when that guy's raising against me anyways. I'm still folding Queen 3 or Queen 2, but that's alright. 8 Queen also not good enough to play here. Yeah, so I kind of got interrupted there, but I was just saying to the viewers out there, I am trying to stream every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I usually do it after work, so sometime around 3:30 Pacific, plus or minus half an hour. And yeah, we're just trying to have a chill stream here, trying to work on our bankroll challenge, getting, we bought in for 100 and we're trying to work up to 10,000. And by doing that, by slowly escalating the stakes, so that we always have at least 25 to 20 buy-ins per stake. So we are, at about $114 right now, which is, what, 23 buy-ins? Working our way, and the way the math works is that it's somewhere around 60 buy-ins at the lower stake until I move up to the higher stake. So 23 out of 60 buy-ins on our bankroll challenge for this stake. Means we got a while to go. That's alright. Just trying to learn, trying to adjust. One of the interesting things I was hearing about, I think, I'm trying to just read and absorb as much poker material as I can. And one of the fun things is poker YouTube videos. There's some that are just like popcorn. They're not actually educational. And then there's others that are actually educational. Try to have a mix of both. And one of the guys is James Split Suit Sweeney. I really enjoy his content. And I think one of the things on there was he was kind of making the point that... Interesting. Alright, I'm just going to try to bet here. Just do a pot size bet. See if he gives it up. No. Okay. So this is where we cool down, and because we don't have anything. I suspect he's just going to... I don't know, if I bet here, he's gonna call us. Oh, we split it. Ah, okay. Nice. I guess if we had bet there, we would have won it, but I wasn't... that's where I should have used the RNG to tell me if I should have raised it or not, or bluffed it. Sometimes it's nice to just blame the RNG as to whether or not I should bluff a spot. queen, 5, small blind. Yeah, we limp it. Okay. Do we... So this is small blind versus big blind. So technically we have the tighter range. But we're going to try betting it. See what happens.
I will not die easily.
Interesting.
I am a warrior.
I mean, we have the straight draw with the 2. We have the flush draw with the diamonds. So we have a fair amount of equity in the pot, but the ace does beat us here. Now we have an open-ended straight draw, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the flush draw. I'm okay betting here. Maybe we'll tell the RNG. RNG will tell us what to bet, how much to bet. We go, if it's below 50, we just do a third pot. No? More than that. Okay. And the countdown timer is telling us that this is our last hand. Man, it always ends up that the last hand's the biggest. Oh, no. We take it. And... Okay. Whew. So, that was about an hour of poker. So we were down about 60 cents, which isn't too bad. At least it's not down a whole buy-in, so I'll take it for today. So let's switch into explanation mode and just see kind of what we can learn from all those hands. I'm gonna switch things up here, and we're gonna switch the scenes and move OBS out of the view. And yeah, let's figure out what. Let's take a look at hands here and see what we want to review. We can just do this. See. Look at this hand first. This is the 8-6 one that I was fairly upset about. Let's see what math says here about this one. So in this one we raised and he called. Now let's see here. So I have some data from when I was playing Zoom, and all 2-bet in the big blind looks like this. Hey, that's actually not too far off, is it? He called with what? 8-6 offsuit? That's actually in there. Hey, a win for data. Yeah, nice little recovery at the end. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'll take that small win there for sure. Okay, so what I want to do here is I just want to like adjust this data just a tiny bit. I'm gonna like make it a little bit more internally consistent here. So we're looking at like this. Okay. Alright. I'm cool with that. I've seen 10-2, and if they're doing all these, they're probably doing 9-5 too. So that is this is actually based on about 5,000 hands of playing Zoom poker on 2 cent, 5 cent on Ignition. So it's a little bit harder than what I was playing. And this is the observed range that I saw based on the hands those 5,000 hands. When it is just calling in the big blind, calling a 2-bet. So these are all the hands that are, and I'm gonna actually we're gonna say be adjusted, just so it looks a little prettier. And so what I want to do here is let's punch in our hand and see if we were in the right or the wrong here. And maybe that's something to be aware of, is that a big blind call is going to be a lot more wider range than something like a call in another position. Like these are the calls from like low jack, high jack, cut off, button. But then small blind is pretty big and big blind's even bigger. So I think maybe that's... I honestly didn't think about that. I was thinking he had a much tighter range. That was my mistake. So we have ace club, ace heart. We see the flop and it is 6 heart, 3 diamond, 6 diamond. So Flopzilla says we have a hand equity of 84% against that range. Okay. Actually is more than I thought it would be. And then what happens here? He donk bets and we call. So if he's donk betting, and we're assuming that these guys are playing heads up, right? Or hands up. Face up is the term I'm looking for. Meaning that they bet strong hands, they fold weak hands. Period. End of discussion. So if that is the case, then yeah, if he's donk betting, he's probably at least got better than middle pair. He's... Yeah, an open-ended straight draw or flush draw we'll give him. And these guys will give him. So, taking that all into account, our equity goes down to 56%, which makes a fair amount of sense. Now, we can see that, okay, we can see that it kept in our 8-6 offsuit, so it did keep in his possible hand there. Now, the pot odds, what is the pot odds that we're facing here? We're facing 8% pot odds, so definitely a good call on the min bet there of 10 cents. I don't think there's any question about that. 2 diamonds comes up. Our equity goes down to 32%. I honestly had no idea that we were in that bad a shape. I guess that's where, you know, I mentioned earlier, like, I think part of the flaw of like weak players or new players is overestimating the strength of a, you know, aces and kings after like you know, not evaluating the strength of like a monster what was it, pocket cards, not evaluating their strength against the board and the position that you're playing against. And in this case, we're playing against somebody in the big blind who has the absolute widest calling range against a flop that does not give us any help, and against a villain who is raising the crappy flop. So yeah, we were in pretty bad shape. And then he bets here. I'll try to enlarge this so you guys can see it here. So he bets 25 cents, which is giving us 14% pot odds. So this is where, you know, maybe the math says you should keep going if it's only 14% and our equity is 32%, but I'm not liking that. I mean, now, one of the things, the Modern Poker Theory book talks about this thing called equity buckets. And what he does is he divides hand strength after the flop into 4 categories. Strong, good, weak, trash. And the way he defines those categories, he doesn't just, you know, it's not just a gut feel of how strong it actually is. He actually has like a definition. And the definition is your hand versus range equity. So, meaning this number right here in Flopzilla, the 32%. So, if that number is above 75%, we have a strong hand. If it's between 75 and 50, we have a good hand. If it's between 50 and 33, it is a weak hand. And if it is below 33, then it is a trash hand. So, yeah, I don't think I realized that I had a trash hand here. honestly. I thought I was doing pretty... I mean, I thought maybe he was bluffing. I thought maybe he was... I don't know. I thought he was just going bonkers. Sorry, I got blinded by the aces, honestly. I don't know if there's much easier way to put it. So then the last card is a 10 of spades, and it reduces our equity even further. And if we assume that he at least, I mean, something like top pair, I actually kind of think he has something better than, like, if he has, so if he has something better than top pair, like an overpair, that puts our equity at 8%. And then he bets $1.30, so he's giving us that's like a 2/3 pot bet. So he's giving us 30% pot odds. So I think that was the punt here, was this call. No doubt. I think it would have been a perfectly, I think the math says to fold here. I called because I just, you know, you have one of those moments where you're like, gotta see what he's got. He can't have it. He can't, no way. But there were, you know, there's, you're looking at 10% of the hands he has are full house, 40% of the hands he has are flushes, 5% are straights, 32% are three of a kinds. That's one where I just got to slow down and think about, and that's one where, this is one where studying the flops and just in general, studying flops and how they interact with different positions is really valuable. If I had studied big blind ranges and studied this weird flop of like 6 high paired, I think I probably would have realized maybe how bad of a shape I was. It's interesting though that, you know, here we have 56%, but then with the 2 we're down to 32%. And I'm trying to, I mean, that's a good question as to why is that? I guess there's a lot of 2s in the range, right? Without, that's part of it. There's also, interesting. Yeah, there's just those 6s and those offsuit, those red icons on that range there. 7-6 offsuit, 6-5 offsuit. You know, they're all. I think that's something I just didn't think about. So, anyways, I think I'm gonna call it for today. It's about almost 5 o'clock here, so gonna go cook some dinner and then maybe do a little fire in the backyard or just take it easy. So I hope you all have a good weekend. I will probably be back same schedule next week, Wednesday through Friday. Until then, thanks again. I am Link Poker and 64 Ninja.